we go. What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm good as always because we're continuing down this path of fantasy football trends. We're talking late round gems on the show today, guys that are falling down the ADP, and I really still believe that they're going to have a big-time role for a lot of us this season, especially where we could draft them. It's all about value to return on investment. That ROI needs to be had for us to win a lot of championships, and a lot of these guys may even go undrafted and will be priority waiver wire pickups. But I'm telling y'all, even if you get them in the later stages, like I'm saying, in the later rounds, we will get that supreme value to help our team. But first and foremost, gotta talk to this draft guide, man. I don't know what y'all doing if you don't have your copy just yet. Go and get your copy today. It is on cover1.net. This thing is an absolute beast. We'll be updating it as the offseason does go on to get you guys ready for your fantasy football drafts. I'm telling y'all, if you don't have it today, go and grab your copy today. Cover1.net, no question about that. But let's start off. First one on the board is a Matthew Stafford quarterback late round gem. Okay, and I understand that the injury has a lot of people concerned at this point. Let me explain something to you just a little bit. If the injury is, significant as they are saying that it could be a potential problem this season, then this whole evaluation is null and void. I'm going on the perspective that Matthew Stafford is a 37-year-old quarterback who has already won his Super Bowls, and the Rams do not necessarily have a backup plan ready to go if Matthew Stafford does sit out. This screams to me more veteran type of, coverage to say, we're going to give him some weeks off. Why not? Because we already know what Matthew Stafford can do. He doesn't even need an off season to perform, and we know he is one of the toughest guys, toughest SOBs in the NFL, and this guy will basically play through anything. So I'm not necessarily buying the fact that his back is, really, really bad. Even we saw Coach McVay, they're saying he's week to week at this point. It's just a storyline that a lot of people want to suggest that he's seen some back specialists, and maybe he has. Maybe the back problem is something to be concerned about. But right now, as we're sitting, if we do go into, the last week of August suggesting that Matthew Stafford is back to full health, then this evaluation completely stands firm on what we're saying. Last season, he had 222.6 points, good enough for QB 19. This year, he is the quarterback 22, going in about round 11.5. So we got him, especially in Superflex leagues. He could be that gem waiver wire quarterback we're looking for bye weeks and matchup play appeal, especially if you're streaming a lot of your quarterbacks, continuously streaming here in 2025 for your quarterbacks. He does hold still extremely strong value, man. The Rams definitely adjusted this offseason. Out the door is a Cooper Kupp. In the door is a Davante Adams. So now you got the Puka Nacua and Davante Adams new duo show here in LA, along with Kyren Williams and company. I mean, this, Rams list of playmakers with a Kyren Williams, Puka, Devontae, Higbee's still there. Tutu, okay, he is your field stretcher. Blake Corum could eventually become something as well. Jordan Whittington definitely flashed last season, and then they drafted a Jerquez Hunter the past NFL draft, and it could be something of a hedge bet just in case a Kyren Williams does not sign his contract. They could be going in the likeness of Blake Corum and a Hunter for following seasons later on. So you understand, teams do understand to hedge bet, especially if they know Kyren Williams is going to be asking for a boatload of money coming up on his secondary contract. But you're sitting here talking about this team. It is one more big kick in the can. What are they going to do with Matthew Stafford next year? That's another big question mark as well. Yes, he is under contract, but they could be looking for other options as well. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't that guy. Stetson Bennett, potentially, we will see. He was able to perform back at UGA, so, he's had some off-field issues as well, but Stetson Bennett can play football as well, especially in a Sean McVay system. Like I'm saying, Kyron's on contract. You gotta had to have added more running back talent. Like I'm saying, how much long does Stafford have? So this is what I'm kind of saying. It's almost like they're protective of him at this point, even if it's just back soreness, issues with his back. let him sit, man. You rehab over the whole entire offseason, and come week one, we know what Matthew Stafford can do on the field. He is one of the most underrated superstar quarterbacks in this league, and there is no question. They are in win-now mode, especially with how this defense is in LA, man. They are loaded, lots of potential, lots of upside, and they will provide more opportunities, especially with Davante Adams. You know Matthew Stafford wants to try to throw the football to Davante in bunches this year, along with Puka Nacua. This offense is truly ready to go. If Matthew Stafford is on that trend that I'm kind of suggesting, they're just giving him more rest because it is a veteran, 37 years old, just trying to keep him healthy for the season. He's going to put up big-time numbers, man. Last year, 16 games, 37, 62 in yards, 20 TDs to only 8 interceptions. Those numbers could absolutely increase, as we did see a lot of Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp going to that medical room. Boom rate last year, only 43%, and I understand that's why we rank him down to QB number 22, overall 37 into round 11. But for my money, man, for Superflex leagues and even for a waiver wire, bye-week fill-in or matchup play, Matthew Stafford is definitely still on my radar as a late-round gem, man. Rashad White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, last season finished as the running back 24, and he's getting supremely disrespected this offseason, all the way down ADP to running back 41, overall 120. You can snag him in the 10th, 11th round at this point. 171 points. What else are you looking for from a running back who can be a flex option for you every single week? There is no question. I get it, man. The Bucs, they're a team, they're on the rise, and this roster truly is loaded, man. Bucky Irving, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, who is my dude, Jalen McMillan, who also is one of my dudes. Go back to my scouting report on Jalen McMillan coming out of Washington. You're going to understand what I was talking about this guy, and he has shown a lot of flash. Kate Otten, Sterling Shepard, Sean Tucker, we got Trey Palmer. They got a lot of weapons on this offense, especially with how Baker Mayfield has been playing football. 73 TDs over the last 2 years here in Tampa Bay. We know what this offense is capable of, man. Baker Mayfield has definitely transformed his game, and Bucky Irving, okay, he has the lead. We understand there's a lot of coaches in this room saying he is a lead back, especially in the pass game, especially in the run game. And what we saw Bucky Irving do last year in his rookie campaign, I can't argue it. There is no question, but this is still a tandem backfield where Rashad White is going to be utilized. He's not a written off afterthought in this offense by any stretch of the imagination. His value still is in the PPR game. How many times did I say last year when it came to start sit? I mean, we saw, running the football from the backfield, it just looked like Rashad White didn't have that burst to get through, gaps and holes and get to the edge. But in the pass game, he was just an absolute dynamo. In the open field, this man's got that stop-start burst, but from the backfield taking handoffs, it's like, where did it go? It's missing at this point. I mean, at this point, so many mouths to feed for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. What's his role going to be? I still truly believe that Rashad White has a good enough role to be a running back 30, top 30 running back, I should say it that way. But 174 to 200 points is definitely not out of the question. And if Bucky Irving does get hurt, Rashad White's going to take a huge, substantial role in this offense because they're going to try to get Sean Tucker involved as well. But at this point, they have everybody on deck to make this offense move and hum with it. Baker Mayfield. Last year, we saw Rashad White get, 50% on that boom rate. It's still very much capable to be a week-in, week-out flex opportunity option for him. He will have some stinkers based on how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense does roll, but he is going to have a supremely strong role once again this year, and I don't understand the fade. I get they're going to try to push the Bucky Irving situation, but Rashad White's still going to have a decent enough role. Even at 150 points total this year, that still cracks the top 30 of running backs and does give us heapings of matchup upside for our flex position, man. DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver. He is a late-round sleeper gem this year, and I don't understand why everyone's sleeping on Diop. I get it. He's aging. The best years definitely are behind the man. He didn't necessarily perform like we had wanted to see with a Patrick Mahomes boy. He had his moments. He saw some flash, but wide receiver 71, overall 177, getting him in the latter stages of our drafts, 14.8 on the round. Are you kidding me? Sign me up all day long. But I understand, okay? 31%, 0.3% on the boom rate. It's not good. He definitely failed us more than he helped us last year. And we get it. The sun is setting on his career. I mean, a subpar season, like I said, with these Chiefs. it's understandable why a lot of people are fading him this year, but D-Hop definitely joins these Ravens with Lamar Jackson, with Derrick Henry to make a huge push to finally win a Super Bowl for Lamar Jackson. That is what they are doing. They got themselves Jari Alexander as well to help out the defensive cause. Mike Green, defensive end from this past draft. These guys are loaded and ready to go. You look at the roster on paper from top to bottom, you understand what I'm talking about. Understandably, we know D-Hop is aging, and it is on the latter stages of his career. 119 points, finishing as the wide receiver 48 last year. Not great, and I can't necessarily promote it any other way, but if you're getting him in the 14th to 15th round, I am taking a shot on this every single draft I have, because if it does not work out, it does not matter, because you know you're getting him at low-rent dollars, and he could definitely perform. If he gets into the wide receiver 30s, you've already scored on return on investment for where you drafted him at. He is, like I've been saying in a lot of videos talking about a DeAndre Hopkins, he's 2 years removed from a 1,000-yard season, and he's still got some gas left in the tank. So why is everyone fading him to these levels to say he's done, written off, completely over? I'm not buying it. I understand, we get, how Lamar Jackson does spread the football around. Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, other wide receivers, Rashad Bateman. We see how they are. Isaiah Likely's eventually going to get in the mix, but then they got a lot of drop-off for who the depth pieces are, man. Tez Walker, Tylan Wallace, etc., etc. Lots of drop-off for these wide receivers in this room, so there is going to be ample opportunity for a D-Hop to at least produce. What are we saying on, the meek trend of what he could potentially have this year? TD upside could be very much huge and vast for a D-Hop. Even if it is 650 yards, 45 catches, and 6 to 8 touchdowns, sign me up all day long for that point productivity in round 14, because you cannot go wrong. You're just going to have to follow my start sit to see when we got to start a D-Hop every single game, and it will pay off dividends a lot. Maybe, okay, can he get up to a 50% boom rate with these Ravens? Sure. I mean, have we seen Lamar Jackson fully support one wide receiver in his time? No, we haven't seen that, even with the last season where he did have a very good passing statistical season for sure. D-Hop is definitely one of these guys that brings a different dynamic to this club. His hands are still very good. Has he lost a step? Sure. But, I mean, his hands are still extremely capable to be an alpha wide receiver on this team. Last one we got is Zack Ertz, tight end. And again, all this guy does is produce. He resurrected his career. I mean, they beat expectations last year, rejuvenated himself here with these commies. And I mean, Jaden Daniels and a Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, they got this offense humming and moving in the right direction. Offense does have a heaping of playmakers, but we do see the trouble brewing with Scary Terry McLaurin asking to be traded out of the club because he wants his new contract. If that does transpire, I'll preface it this way. I don't foresee Scary Terry sitting out this year whatsoever. I don't even foresee a trade coming unless they're absolutely blown away with some compensation. But if Scary Terry does miss any time, Zack Ertz's role could absolutely increase in a very big way. Deebo Samuel is there now, and I think that's part of the problem. Deebo's got his money. He's getting paid. They trade for him, and Scary Terry's like, yo, man, give me my bag. I just had one of my best seasons in the NFL, and I know my time is definitely short. With Jaden Daniels, they could be a super good offense once again this year. Very reliable tight end. Basement level costs with high volume upside this season for a Zack Ertz. 52.9% last year on the boom rate. Definitely is nothing to sneeze at. They got playmakers loaded on this team. Brian Robinson Jr., Terry McLaurin, Deebo. They added Michael Gallup. Austin Eckler still there. Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, the rookie. Ben Sinnett could potentially get his name into the offensive punch at some point this season as well. Zack Ertz finished last year as the tight end 8, and you can get him at bargain rates of tight end 19, round 13.3. Absolutely disrespectful for what the man was able to do for us last year, and I'm a huge fan of a Zack Ertz at this point. He goes into anywhere round 12.5 to round 13. You sign me up all day long. I'm taking that value to the bank all day long. But there you have it. That is some late round gems for you guys to get in on your drafts, because I mean, when we go, it's easy to take a couple shots in the later rounds, because if they don't work, we can definitely cut bait and see what's on the waiver wire. But if they do hit on these late rounds, this is what is the difference in winning and losing, especially early on in the season, and can get us, set up extremely well for the fantasy football playoffs. But there you have it. Nevertheless, as always, don't forget to like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments. Give me your thoughts. What do you think of these gems on the late round? Throw it in the comments. You in, you out. Tell me why. Throw it in the comments, and we'll definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.